When Republicans take control of Congress, one of our very top priorities will be to stop the flood of illegal aliens across our southern border. Under my administration, with the help of two great men, these are great men, Tom Homan, did you ever hear of Tom Homan? You never want to get in a fight with Tom Homan. And Mark Morgan, these are two great men, and they had help from others. We did such a job on the border. They knew exactly what they were doing, and we did that job. And as I said before, we had the greatest and most secure border in U.S. history. All Biden had to do is go to the beach. Just go to the beach. We had a policy, stay in Mexico. You don't have to know what it is, but makes sense. We ended catch and release. We ended asylum fraud. We struck breakthrough agreements with Mexico and Central American countries. I ended payments to all of these countries because they weren't behaving at all. They were sending us their prisoners. They were sending us a lot of bad people. I said, how much money do we give to El Salvador? How much money do we give to these countries? How much money are we giving to various, including Mexico? And I have a lot of respect for the president of Mexico. Yes, he may be a socialist, but I like him. And, you know, remember, he gave us 28,000 soldiers while we were building the wall. That's why we had such great numbers, even with 28,000 soldiers for nothing. We paid nothing. Now, I did say that if you don't give them to us, we're going to put tariffs on the cars coming in, but we don't have to go into that. We expedited removals and deported dangerous criminal aliens by the thousands, and we built nearly 500 miles of border wall. 3 weeks it would have been finished. In 3 weeks. And it took 2.5 years to get started because they had all of these lawsuits, 11 of them. We won every one of them. But we had 11 lawsuits brought by Nancy Pelosi, mostly in Congress. And we built almost 500 miles of wall. And we built in Arizona 225 miles right here. And your senator, by the way, I think he's going to want to take them down. Let's take down the wall. And these walls are tough. These are exactly what they wanted. I went to Homan, I went to Mark Morgan, and I said, what do you want exactly? And they brought all of the Border Patrol people up to Washington, and we had a meeting, and we got the wall. They wanted everything. They wanted steel and concrete. They wanted rebar. They wanted wires going through all parts of the wall so they can hook up high technology. We gave them everything. Joe Biden took this unprecedented success, and he made it the greatest border calamity in the history, I think, of the world. I don't think there's a worse border in the world. I don't care if it's a third world or fourth world country. There is no border so bad as the border we have. We went from the best border we've ever had in a period of 1 year to the worst border we've ever had. Over 2 million illegal aliens have trespassed across our borders, but that's also a fake number given by the press and others, because the number, I think, could be 10 times that amount. I think we're talking about tens of millions of people are pouring into this country. We see certain people and we sort of mark it down. Well, that's the number, but it's not. I think we have tens of millions of people, and these are not necessarily people that we want in our country. And that includes with the so-called airlift that they tried to take credit for. 3% of the people qualified to be on that airlift. 97% of the people, you'll be hearing from them in years to come, in many cases. We also saw a record number of migrant children arriving at our border because Democrats' very cruel policies are pushing vulnerable youths into the arms of child smugglers, human traffickers, and very vicious criminal cartels. What the criminal cartels are doing to women and children, unbelievable. And you know, the trafficking is mostly in women. What they're doing to women is horrible. Yet despite all of this, Biden, Pelosi, Schumer, the whole group, and the radical left are still hell-bent on passing mass amnesty for illegal aliens. One of the highest priorities when Republicans take back Congress and eventually the White House will be to have a massive increase in the number of ICE officers and Border Patrol officers so that we can find and detain and deport every one of the illegal aliens that Joe Biden has released into our country. We should also pass a law that says that sanctuary city officials who knowingly release criminals will be charged as accessories in any future crimes. You know, sanctuary cities, it protects some very, very evil people are in sanctuary cities, totally protected. It's crazy. It's what the hell are they thinking? Thereby ending the whole concept of sanctuary cities, and we did a lot of it. But we didn't quite, the clock ran out unexpectedly. In addition to Biden's border disaster, there's also the Afghanistan disaster, the single greatest foreign policy humiliation in American history. And because of Joe Biden's utter incompetence, and really the military leaders, some of whom I know, their gross incompetence, you look at the numbers of people killed and the equipment and everything that happened, and as we could talk about it all night long, and the fake news won't talk about it at all. We took in tens of thousands of totally unvetted people. We have no idea where the hell they come from, what their ideology is. And by the way, I want to wish our best wishes and good luck and Godspeed to the hostages right now in Texas, taking place right now. You probably heard about it. It just happened. Hostages in Texas, not a good situation. You'll see what happens, and you'll see who it is that's holding so dangerously those hostages. I think I have a pretty good idea. So far, not a single member of the administration has yet been fired for Afghanistan. You know, normally when something like that happens, you fire the generals or you fire somebody. But make no mistake, under a Republican Congress, they will be held accountable. They have to be. Under our administration, America was respected again, and respected like never before. We restored America leadership. We fully rebuilt the U.S. military. We created the first new branch of the armed forces in 75 years, and that's the Space Force. 75 years. We also achieved the long-sought goal of energy independence. Nobody thought that was possible. We had so much energy, we didn't know what the hell to do with it. You know, I filled up these strategic reserves, by the way, which nobody talks about. But, you know, now Biden's using what I did to try and lower the price of energy, which is not working too well. But upon taking office, Biden caved to the radical left, and he did a job on so many things like the Paris Climate Accord, which rips off our country, and canceled the Keystone XL pipeline while, as we said, approving the Russian pipeline. Every item on the Pelosi, Biden, Schumer agenda is crazier and more delusional than the last. But this November, we have a chance to do something really spectacular, to bring these Marxist monstrosities to a screeching halt. A great red wave is going to begin right here in Arizona, and it's going to sweep across this country, and it's going to wash hundreds and hundreds and thousands of Democrat socialists out of office with an unstoppable surge of Republican patriots, and they're going to be doing it. You're going to be heading to the polls. This is maybe the most important election we've ever had, but I do believe that 2024 will be even more important. This is the year we are going to take back the House, we are going to take back the Senate, and we are going to take back America. This is so important. And in 2024, we are going to take back the White House. With a Republican Congress, we will fight for more jobs for American families, fair trade for American workers, and more American factories forging more products stamped with those very, very beautiful words, made in the USA. We will shut down Joe Biden's border disaster. We will again end catch and release. We will quickly complete the border wall, very quickly, very fast. We will end chain migration. We will make sure that these people that are illegally admitted to our country have to share. If they're staying, they have to share our values. They have to love our country. They cannot blow up our country. They have to love our country. They have to love our people. We will hold China accountable for unleashing the virus and charge them trillions of dollars for the damage and suffering they have caused us. But look at what they've done to the world, what they have done to the world. We will break up big tech and restore the right to free speech in America. We will protect innocent life. We will defend our Constitution. We will defend the Second Amendment. We will proudly uphold the Judeo-Christian values and principles of our nation's founding. We will stop the Biden crime wave in our Democrat-run cities, and we will crack down on violent criminals, and we will give our police officers our 100% support. There will be no defunding of our law enforcement in any way, shape, or form. We will ban critical race theory in our classrooms. We will ban it in our military. We will ban it from our workplaces, and we will ban it from our federal, state, and local governments. We will restore patriotic education to our schools, and we will teach our children to love their country, honor their history, and to always respect our great American flag. And we will ban men from participating in women's sports. Did you see the swimmer that's breaking records like by 30 seconds? They had a record for 9 years, the record held. And then this guy decides to go try out for the team. He was on the men's team, then he went on the women's team. So he broke a record. You know, if you win by 1/10 of 1 second faster, 1/10, he won by 32 seconds. And the weightlifter. So this is a record that stood for 11 years. They'd put up an ounce, a little ounce on each side, an ounce. But the record stood for 11 years. This weightlifter comes along. He didn't even lift weights before. Bing, bing, bing. He broke it by numbers that you wouldn't even believe. How ridiculous is it? And it's so unfair to women. It's so unfair to women. Our MAGA movement is by far the greatest political movement in the history of our country. There's never been anything like it. And even the fake news doesn't dispute it. I say it all the time, and the fake news can't dispute it. That's a lot of fake news back there, too. Considering they can't stand me, that's a lot of news. They are just, you know, you could save America. You could save America. But it's all about America first, great schools, good jobs, strong military, growing economy, and pride in our country. That's all we want. Together, we're standing up against some of the most sinister forces, entrenched interests, and corrupt opponents that anyone on our shores has ever seen before. But no matter how big or powerful the opposition may be, you must never forget our nation does not belong to them. Our nation belongs to you. Belongs to you. And it belongs to you, Christina. This is your home. This is your heritage. And our magnificent American liberty is your God-given right. From Phoenix to Tombstone, from Flagstaff to Florence, from Mesa to Yuma to the Red Rocks of Sedona, we stand on the shoulders of red-blooded American patriots who poured out their heart, sweat, and soul for our country and for our freedom. This great state was settled by some of the toughest men and strongest women ever to walk the face of the earth. Arizona is where Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday, they were tough, became American legends. It's where the great American West became the American dream. And Arizona is the state where generations of pioneers and prospectors miners and ranchers, cowboys and cattle hands, marshals and lawmen, tamed the frontier, braved the blazing sun, and showed the entire world how the West was won. So big, so important. They gave everything they had to make America into the greatest country in the history of the world, and we will never let any socialist or communist movement take that away from us. There is no mountain we cannot climb. There is no summit we cannot reach. There is no challenge we cannot meet. There is no victory we cannot have, as long as we remember that we are strong and proud and mighty Americans with faith in our hearts, grit in our souls, and courage in our veins. And that's what you have. We are the Americans who will make America great again. We are going to make America great again. We had already done it, and now we're going to have to do it again. We will not bend. We will not break. We will not yield. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down. We will stand proudly for our flag, and we will start talking about greatness for our country again. My fellow Americans, make America great again, and all that represents. And it has only just begun. We have only just begun. Because we are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together, we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. We will make America united again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Arizona. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.